The third way, if the people don't have an imam. So a man comes with power, quwwah, and bravery, and with a strong soul and strong opinion, and he overcomes the people through his sword, through his strength and his power and his sword, until they give in to him and they humble themselves to him. So he makes himself the leader. Then to him it is obligatory to obey. So they act upon that. And that is based upon the example of Abdul Malik bin Marwan in the time of the end of the time of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. So the people in his time were without an overall ruler. So this man stood up with courage and boldness and power and strong will. He fought, overcame, and took control of leadership amongst the Muslims. So he became their leader. And all of Ahlul Ilm and the scholars and the people of his time, from the most excellent of people of the ulama, that they gave him their obedience and their allegiance. And his leadership became binding. How did he gain leadership? Sword. So he can't be said, well, I didn't agree with him, because in fact he actually came in and he used power with his tribe and his sword and with tanks, and he took over. So I'm not going to obey him because we weren't in agreement. You don't have to be in agreement. He took power. Now that he's the leader, it is not upon you to shed more blood. If he's tyrannical, make dua to Allah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never punishes the people that don't deserve it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not bring a calamity upon a people who are righteous and pious and obedient to Him. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen, as Shaykh al-Fawzan and the Quran testifies to. So if that ruler has been put in charge of you, it is because of your sins if he is sinful and tyrannical. So rectify yourselves and Allah will rectify him. Regardless, the point is here from a Shari'i point of view, that ruler who took power after taking the sword, and as what happened when Banu al-Abbas removed Banu Umayyah, and then they called the scholars, and they called Awza'i. In front of Awza'i, as he entered the court in Sham, the court of the ruler, the palace of the ruler, they brought Awza'i, the great Imam and the scholar, died in 157 in the time of the Tabi'een. And on that day, they killed 70 of the family of Banu Umayyah in one day. And they laid them out, their bodies out in the court. And they covered their bodies with a carpet. And then they put their thrones on top of that carpet with their bodies underneath, and they sat upon the thrones of the dead Banu Umayyah that were in charge the day before. Then Awza'i walked in. They brought him from his house. This great Imam and scholar, the Imam of Ahlus Sunnah of his age. And they said to him, what do you say about our rule? They're the rulers now, with the sword, with killing. He said, what you have done is dhulm. As for my obedience, you have it. That's the alim. Speak a word of truth in front of them. What you have done is dhulm. That is deenun nasiha. It takes a man of courage. He said, when I walked in, the entourage of the ruler, that they had in their hands clubs, others had in their hands daggers, others had in their hands swords, and many of them were dripping still with blood. And he walked in. They brought him. What do you say today about us? What you have done is dhulm, but you have my obedience. That's an alim. He said, then I turned and I walked. As I was walking home, I heard people on horseback coming up behind me. And I said to myself, they have come to kill me. He said, I came off the road, I stood on the side, and I made takbir, and I prayed my last 2 rak'ahs. When I had finished, they said, the Amir, the Khalifa, he has given you this pouch of gold coins. So they gave me a pouch of gold coins, filled with gold coins. He said, by Allah, I gave every coin to the poor before I reached my door. That's ulama. That is fiqh. That is understanding. That is taqwa. Usikum bi taqwa Allah. This is the ulama of al-Islam.